Ever wondered why adversity seems to find you no matter where you hide? Well, it's not just you. We all face adversity. It's a universal experience as common as the rising and setting of the sun. From the highest peaks of success to the deepest valleys of failure, adversity is a constant companion. Adversity doesn't discriminate, it visits us all. It might show up as a personal defeat, like a poor performance or rejection. Or it could appear as a team defeat, a collective setback that leaves us feeling lost and alone. But adversity isn't the end of the journey, it's just a detour. This video isn't about avoiding adversity because let's face it, that's impossible. Instead, we're going to explore how to handle these experiences, how to learn from them, and how to use them as a stepping stone to success. We'll take a deep dive into the world of adversity and emerge on the other side stronger, wiser, and more resilient. So buckle up, open your mind, and let's embark on this journey together. Stay with us as we delve into the world of adversity and find out how to turn it into a stepping stone for success. We all have our own stories of failure, but do these define us or do they shape us? Picture this: a young man full of ambition, full of dreams. He pours his heart and soul into a project, a startup he believes could change the world. He works day and night, sacrificing time, money, and relationships. He believes with every fiber of his being that he's building something great. But then, the unimaginable happens. The startup fails. The world he envisioned crumbles before his eyes. The future he was so sure of, suddenly uncertain. This is a story of failure. A story that many of us know all too well. It's a story that, at its core, is about more than just a failed startup. It's about the feeling of defeat that comes when something we've poured our heart and soul into doesn't work out. It's about the self-doubt that creeps in, whispering, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. It's about the fear that paralyzes us, making us think twice before we dare to dream or strive for greatness again. Failure has a way of leaving scars. It can shake our confidence, shatter our self-esteem, and make us question our worth. It can make us feel small and insignificant, like we're just a tiny speck in the grand scheme of things, powerless against the forces of fate and circumstance. But what if we told you that this is not the whole story? What if we told you that failure, as painful as it may be, is not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be embraced? What if we told you that failure, in all its agonizing glory, holds the key to growth, resilience, and ultimately success? How, you may ask? Well, failure teaches us lessons that success never could. It shows us our weaknesses, our blind spots, and our areas for improvement. It forces us to take a hard look at ourselves and confront our shortcomings. It pushes us out of our comfort zones and challenges us to rise above the ashes of our defeats. But more than that, failure gives us perspective. It allows us to see that success is not a straight line, but a winding path filled with twists and turns, ups and downs. It teaches us that every setback is a setup for a comeback, that every misstep is an opportunity to learn and grow. So the next time you face failure, remember this: it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. It's not about the mistakes you've made, but the lessons you've learned. It's not about the battles you've lost, but the strength you've gained. We all have our own stories of failure, but do these define us or do they shape us? In the face of adversity, resilience becomes our greatest ally. It's that inner strength that helps us bounce back, dust ourselves off, and keep moving forward. But what exactly is resilience? It's more than just a buzzword. It's a framework, a mindset, a way of life. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. It's the mental fortitude that allows us to face adversity head-on, to learn from our mistakes and to turn failures into opportunities. It's the ability to withstand the storms of life, not by avoiding them, but by facing them with courage and determination. Now you might be wondering, how do I develop resilience? Well, it starts with understanding that failure is not the end, but rather a stepping stone on the path to success. It's about embracing the idea that every setback is a setup for a comeback. It's about realizing that adversity is not something to be feared, but rather a teacher, a guide, showing us where we need to grow and how we can improve. Building resilience is like working a muscle. It requires time, effort, and most importantly, practice. It's about challenging yourself, stepping out of your comfort zone and pushing your boundaries. It's about celebrating your victories, no matter how small, and learning from your defeats, no matter how big. Resilience also involves cultivating a positive mindset. It's about focusing on the good, even when everything seems bad. It's about finding the silver lining, even in the darkest of clouds. It's about maintaining hope, even when things seem hopeless. Lastly, resilience is about self-care. It's about taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It's about understanding that you can't pour from an empty cup, that you need to take care of yourself first before you can take on the world. So, in the face of adversity, let resilience be your shield and your sword. Let it help you navigate through the storms of life. Let it guide you towards growth, success, and ultimately fulfillment. Remember, resilience isn't about avoiding failure, but about embracing it as a part of the journey. When we grow, we change. And change, as they say, is the only constant. Growth is an intriguing concept. It's not just about getting bigger or stronger, it's about evolving, becoming more complex, more richly textured. It's about deepening our understanding, expanding our capabilities, and refining our approach to life's challenges. Consider the seed of a mighty oak tree. In its initial state, it's small, unassuming, but within that tiny seed lies the potential for monumental growth. It doesn't just grow into a larger version of itself, it transforms entirely. It becomes something grander, something more resilient, something that provides shelter and sustenance to other life forms. We humans are not so different. Our growth isn't always physical, but it is transformative. And often it's our encounters with adversity and failure that fuel this transformation. Imagine these adversities as the soil in which we plant our seeds of growth. It's not the most pleasant environment, it's dark, it's damp, it's filled with decay, but it's from these conditions that the seed draws its nourishment, that it finds the energy to push upwards, to break through the surface and reach for the sun. So too do we draw strength from our challenges. Each failure we face, each obstacle we overcome, nourishes our growth. It forces us to adapt, to learn, to become more resilient. It pushes us to break through our limitations and reach for our highest potential. But growth, like change, isn't always comfortable. It can be messy, it can be painful, it can feel like we're being torn apart at the seams. And that's because, in a way, we are. We're shedding our old selves, our old ways of thinking and being to make room for the new. Yet it's this discomfort, this stretching of our capacities that signifies growth. It's a sign that we're pushing our boundaries, that we're stepping outside of our comfort zones and into the realm of the unknown. And it's in this space, this frontier of uncertainty, that we discover who we truly are and what we're truly capable of. So let's not shy away from adversity, let's not fear failure. Instead, let's embrace these experiences as opportunities for growth. Let's use them as the soil in which we plant our seeds of potential, as the catalysts that propel us towards our fullest selves. Growth isn't comfortable, but it's necessary, and it's only through adversity that we truly grow. Positivity isn't about ignoring the negative, it's about overcoming it. Let's ponder over that for a moment. Positivity isn't about pretending that all is well when it's not. It's not about turning a blind eye to the challenges that life throws at us. Rather, it's about facing those challenges head-on, armed with a belief that we are stronger than our circumstances. Think about a time when you faced a setback. Did you give in to despair, or did you muster the strength to try again? That strength, that resilience, that's the power of a positive mindset. It's the ability to tell yourself, yes, I failed, yes, it hurt, but I'm not done, I'm not defeated. Positivity is about taking a moment to acknowledge the sting of failure, and then deciding to learn from it rather than wallow in it. It shifts our focus from the problem at hand to potential solutions. It encourages us to ask, what can I do differently next time, rather than lamenting, why did this happen to me? A positive mindset is like a compass in the storm of adversity. It doesn't stop the storm, but it gives us the direction to navigate through it. It helps us to see failures not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones on our path to success. This perspective doesn't come naturally to all of us. We have to cultivate it. We have to choose to see the silver lining in every cloud, to view every setback as a setup for a comeback. It's this choice that empowers us, that fuels our resilience, that drives our growth. So remember, the power of positivity isn't about denying the existence of hardships. It's about acknowledging them, learning from them, and then rising above them. It's about changing the narrative from I can't to I can and I will. So the next time adversity knocks, greet it with a smile, because you know it's just another opportunity for growth. So what's the takeaway from all this talk about adversity, failure, and growth? In the grand theater of life, we've all had our fair share of adversities. These are not just mere obstacles, but pivotal moments that shape our character and destiny. They are moments that test our mettle, pushing us to the limits. But remember, they are not meant to break us, but to make us. We discussed the story of failure, and how it's often painted in a negative light. But the truth is, failure is not the villain of our story, but rather the unsung hero. It's the raw material from which success is crafted. It provides us with the wisdom of experience, the humility that keeps us grounded, and the resilience to keep moving forward. If we change our perspective, we can see failure not as a setback, but as a setup for a comeback. Then we explored the concept of resilience. It's the ability to bounce back, to rise from the ashes, and to march on despite the odds. It's not about avoiding failure, but facing it head-on and growing stronger in the process. It's about embracing the storm, knowing that it's not here to harm us but to cleanse us, to shape us, and to make us shine brighter. We also touched upon the idea of growth. Growth is not a linear path but a winding journey with ups and downs. It's about evolving, improving, and becoming the best version of ourselves. It's about learning from our mistakes, turning our failures into lessons and our adversities into opportunities. And finally, we delved into the power of positivity. It's the fuel that drives our journey forward. It's the light that guides us through the darkest tunnels. It's the belief that no matter how tough the journey gets, the destination will be worth it. So, as we wrap up, let's remember that adversity, failure, and growth are intertwined. They are not separate entities, but parts of the same journey. Embrace them, learn from them, and let them guide you on your path. Because in the end, it's not about avoiding the storm, but learning to dance in the rain. It's not about waiting for the winds to change, but setting sail regardless. It's not about escaping the darkness, but finding the light within. Remember, adversity is not a roadblock, but a stepping stone, and failure isn't a dead end, but a detour to a better path. Embrace your adversities, learn from your failures, and let your growth be your guiding light on your journey toward success. We hope you have enjoyed this video and have inspired you on your journey. If you like it, please share, like, and subscribe.